or 4 times. Further. We're here for the duration until we can move again of our ship.
Hey, can you hear me, Ace?
I don't know.
Can you hear me, Ace? You're welcome. Are they taking us at the top?
I don't know.
I'm talking to Ace.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys have any video or anything in? What are we working with?
Nope.
We can't get a chance to send anything back.
What they want. I was telling them you have an appointment at 6.
Ace is listening to me, but he said that we are at the top.
A city lot overgrown and causing trouble until 19 troubleshooters stepped in to get things done.
Gonna go potty. All right. Yep. Yeah, we can't get a chance to feed it in. We can't get a chance to feed it in because they keep moving us. They keep moving us. We've been moved 5 times now. Yeah. And every time we try to edit, they ask for a live shot.
You can say Arlington is closed at Waterloo.
We got to try and get some video back because right now we don't have.
I'm going. Yeah, there's nothing.
I'm saying we
We're
have to
off at
try.
5. We leave shortly.
Yeah, we've got to try and get some back.
All the raw stuff. And
I'm
send it back.
not arguing with you. I'm saying we just got to try to get some back. Okay? All right.
Where have we had the time?
I'm not
to do
arguing
that?
with you. I'm not going back and forth with you, honey. I'm not going back and forth. I'm just saying
Over this
when we
way.
get a second, feed it back raw, have them roll on it, something.
I will. Can you step about 3 feet? Another 3 feet.
My AirPod just died. I need you. Can you hear the thing? Or just grab my phone. My AirPod just died. Here. Just point to me.
Over.
And I can tell you that we've now been moved for the 4th to 5th time out here, even further away than we were at the beginning. Nikki, Brian, take a look how far back we are now. The last person to move us was the new police chief in Akron. He came over to our news vehicle and he said, hey, if you see what's behind, you see this black smoke right there, you do not want to be near this because there is something brewing here. Now, this is again at Koki Laboratories. It is a plant that is right here near South Arlington and Rosemary Boulevard. What we know is that a fire started around 1 o'clock this afternoon. Flames were breaking out there. We saw fire crews dumping water on it. The PIO telling us that He wanted to get it under control. The crews were working to get it under control before it spread to propane tanks and other hazardous material. It looks like we're past that point now. We see dozens of fire trucks, police officers, ambulances, crews on scene, and some of them even started to back away at the time we were told to move. They are saying that right now they are standing by and potentially just waiting for an explosion to happen here. Now, so far, no injuries have been reported. Businesses, residences have been evacuated about a mile radius in the area. People put on buses and told they need to get somewhere safe. So this is a very active situation still developing out here. But we've been here live, and 19 News will stay on top of this. We'll keep you up to date every step of the way right here, of course, on our social media pages and on our website, cleveland19.com. For now, I'm live in Akron. Gabby Hart, 19 News.
Jeff Slauson here from 19 News Now at the 19 News Digital Desk. We are breaking in with our coverage now of this hazmat situation that is currently underway in Akron. Evacuations have started, have been ongoing as a result of that plume of smoke that you are seeing that has really just been consistently going, I don't know, for about 30 minutes or so. This has been really, really hitting. So what I'm going to do is give you all of the information that I know up to this point. I know this is a stressful situation for many, and for those that followed it, this, I'm not saying it's the same thing, but to give you a comparison and looks very similar to what we saw in East Palestine. So Akron Police and Fire Departments, they are on scene. This is a hazmat situation. According to police, this is happening at Kochi Laboratories on Rosemary Boulevard in Akron. Police have been evacuating people not just from that factory, but from the area as a whole. Due to a potential risk of explosions, that evacuation is in a half-mile radius from the fire. So start at the Kochi Laboratories, take a circle, half-mile around. That is where they are starting to evacuate. The concern here, which really is terrifying, is that the fire could spread potentially to propane tanks, to explosive materials that are inside of the plant. If those explosives then spread to that point, yeah, this could get really bad really, really quickly. We are expecting to get an update at 4:45. That's when, of course, we're going to be live streaming this. The Firestone Park Community Center is going to be used as a reunification center. So if you're hoping to see any loved ones as a result of this, you're concerned about anybody, again, that is in a half-mile radius of that building, the city is busing people to the area, so then you can find them there. You can get that information there. Our Gabby Hart has been on the scene for this, has been providing us updates consistently on and around this area. She had first reported on this, let me see here. Yeah, about a half hour ago, about an hour ago. But a big warning here. Avoid the area. You can see how far away we are now. We were a lot closer a little bit ago. And basically what's been happening is every 10 or 15 minutes, officials have been moving us back more and more due to our safety. But look at that plume of smoke. You do not want to be anywhere near that at this point. I wonder if we could even potentially see that on the Doppler with how thick that is. Let me see if I can look this up here, because fire officials wouldn't confirm to us what they do at Kochi Laboratories. But let's see if a simple search can. All right, let's see here. So according to the LinkedIn page for Kochi Laboratories, they're contract packaging, private packaging, chemicals, aerosols, liquid filling, custom filling, and other things. That is scary when you consider what potentially is getting put into the atmosphere as a result of that. Yeah, so it seems like it's a range of aerosol and liquid filling is what they produce in chemical packaging services. Wonder what types of chemicals potentially are being released as a result. What we do not know is why this explosion happened, why something like this is taking place, and how long potentially we could see this going on for. And as we wait for this update at 4:45 from fire officials, I want to remind everybody, if you're potentially in the area, around the area, a half-mile radius around this spot is being blocked off. Evacuations underway. Within that half-mile radius, very clearly we are further than a half mile. We are outside of that radius, and that is still how large that looks. You can only imagine what that is inside of that spot. But for anybody that is within a half-mile radius, again, I'll give you the street, Rosemary Boulevard, the 1000 block of Rosemary Boulevard, you're being evacuated. This due to a risk that the fire could expand, potentially, to explosive materials. They cited in particular that this could go to propane tanks and other explosives. So we're basically in a waiting pattern here, but a really scary situation for anybody that works at that factory. Again, that it appears to, according to their LinkedIn, produce some sort of aerosols and liquid fillings. But our crew's more than a half mile away outside of that evacuation zone, and that is still how thick that smoke is. So here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to actually show you this is from the official Facebook page for the city of Akron, and in particular the mayor's office. And this is where we're going to actually be showing you the press conference when it happens. The anticipated time is 4:45. So on the left side of your screen, you're going to be looking at some photos here. On the right-hand side is the live picture of that smoke plume. But what I want to show you with those photos, I know it's tough, there's a glare, but you're looking at the top-down view of the business of Koki Laboratories. Okay, let's continue to go through these. This is the evacuation zone. I know it's a little tough to see, but there's a ring in the middle. Okay, that is the half-mile radius zone. Everything within that zone has to go. You gotta leave, you gotta evacuate. This is for your safety. Everything that's in the red line that is not filled in, that's 1 mile. That is what it appears to be, at least according to the crews we have there, the suggested distance, not part of the evacuation zone, but they're hoping that people aren't going to be sticking around hanging out outside within that within the mile to the half-mile zone. Get a little bit further back than that. See if there's anything else here that they have. And then, yeah, I mean, just more photos of this smoke. And as you can see, I mean, this thing isn't just going up. This thing is hanging low, making it really tough to breathe for many people, I would guess. But yeah, a very, very scary scene. So what we're going to do is I'm going to leave this up here. Obviously, we just have this live view of the smoke. At about 4:45, we're hoping to be able to hear from the city of Akron on this. We, of course, will be providing that to you. I'm going to step away from the stream here. Got to prepare for my TV appearance over at 5 o'clock. But this is going to be staying up. Any questions you have, I want to repeat the information that we have right now. Again, very limited, but we do have something here. The Akron Fire Department is taking point on this, but this is a hazmat situation. Koch Laboratories on Rosemary Boulevard, evacuating people as a result of a fire at that lab. What we know as of right now is the main concern is that the fire could potentially spread to flammable items that could cause explosions, such as propane tanks. So, due to that risk, a half-mile radius has been established around the business. A mile radius seems to be a suggested line that the fire department is providing for people. We do not know how that fire started. We do not officially know the official word on exactly what type of materials that they have, though if you go online and you do a couple searches, you can find out that they are some sort of a producer of aerosols and liquid fillings that involve chemical packaging as well. No one known to be hurt as of right now. An official update is anticipated at 4:45. What we're going to do is be able to, of course, provide that to you from the Akron Police Department, Fire Department, City, but the Fire Department is the head at this point. For anybody that is working there, anybody that's in the area, there is a city community center, Firestone Park, that is being used as a reunification center. The city is busing people that are within the zone to that spot. That's where you got to go if you have a family member that's within the evacuation zone. And any overflow is going to Joy Park Community Center. No confirmation on how this fire started, no confirmation on potentially when this could be stopped, and no injuries as well. We, of course, will provide you any of the latest information, but I'm going to physically step away.
It's raw footage. I'll email her.
I'm going to lower that down in case they are just talking about some stuff there. But again, going to step away real quick. Got to prepare for my TV appearance at 5 o'clock. But what we will do is, of course, have the latest from the press conference at 4:45. You see Gabby Hart in the frame there. All right, so you know what? I'll wait a sec. We'll take her appearance on 19. Then after that, I'm stepping away for just a quick second to make sure everything's ready to go for my TV appearance. Then I'll hop back on.
Time. I was just saying Kelly could use it because we didn't have time to cut it.
Again, that is Gabby Hart with us, reporter, covering this for us, showing us the latest. Been there all day, at least since it started.
I'll probably mention like the road closed off.
Yeah, that's Arlington.
Stand by.
There you go.
Hello? That's right. We're more than 3 hours in now, and it looks like fire crews have yet to get this situation under control. You see the large black plume of smoke here behind me, and I can tell you that this area is blocked off from one end about 2 miles down. Now, right now, we're on South Waterloo Road in South Arlington, but this situation is really escalating. We started out a little bit closer to this fire, and then crews continue to move us back time and time again, saying that they are worried about propane tanks and explosive materials inside of Kochi Laboratories. That is the plant that is on fire. They say that they initially were trying to keep the fire away from those explosive materials, but at some point it looks like they threw their hands up and they pretty much told everyone, get back. Right now we are bracing for a potential explosion. Now, we have seen dozens of firefighters, first responders, ambulances here on scene standing by. It looks like they're preparing for the worst case scenario. I mean, take a look at the video that we had earlier when we first arrived on scene. You can see how close we were then to where we are now, that vantage point. Now, we do know that Akron police will be holding, and fire crews will be holding a press conference in about, we're told, 15 to 20 minutes down at the police station, where they'll be updating us on the circumstances, the situation here. The good news is that right now no injuries are reported, and it looks like police have evacuated businesses and residences in this area enough so that everyone is now at a safe location. But again, it's still a developing situation. We're still working to learn more, and as soon as we do, so will you right here, and of course on Cleveland19.com. We will have continuing team coverage of this fire and keeping you up to date on everything you need to know right here. For now, I'm Gabby Hart, 19 News.
All right, so that was Gabby's appearance on 19 News at 4:30. Again, I will be stepping away here. We're still going to keep the shot up there. Just going to step away for about 10 minutes or so. We are expecting an update from Akron at 4:45. Of course, if anything changes, anything is getting out of hand there, I'll jump back on with you as well. But stepping away for a bit, keeping the shot up as well. Thank you.
Does anybody know what's on fire?
Ma'am, get out of our camera shot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's a chemical plant. We're not sure what's on fire.
Oh, wow.
I'm not trying to be rude. I'm busy right now. Trying to get all the food. Please ensure your shooter gets into camera all the video tonight. For the morning. Yes, it's South Waterloo and South Arlington. So that's why. It's the wind is in their back and there's a bathroom inside. Far enough away the cops aren't canceling this anymore. No, whatever. It is what it is at this point. That's fine. Don't just rush out.
To the fire, I will introduce District Chief Sergi Lash to provide a full update.
Thank you all for being here. As Mayor said, we received a call shortly after 1 o'clock, about 1:12. Our first arriving unit on the scene arrived about 1:14. We had reports of heavy smoke and flames showing through the back of the building. Once we arrived, we saw it was a commercial building. Employees had already evacuated. We heard, after we were on scene, shortly before 3 o'clock, a small explosion. That's when we decided to upgrade to a third alarm fire and evacuate the neighborhood. We are currently have a lot of resources deployed to the fire, and we are, because of structural integrity being compromised, we have continued to evacuate, and we are pouring resources into the scene as needed. I will let Lieutenant Murphy let you know what Akron Police is doing.
Yeah, the Akron Police Department's primary response has been partnering and assisting the Akron Fire Department in all their efforts. We did assist with traffic control and consistently blocking off the areas now, have a perimeter set up around South Arlington Street, East Waterloo Road, Kelly Avenue, and Triplet Avenue. We also assisted the Akron Fire Department with the evacuation efforts and have began the reunification efforts with the City of Akron, and Mayor Malik will discuss a little bit more about that.
Thank you both. We have set up 3 reunification centers, places where folks can go from the evacuation zone. That's Firestone Park Community Center, which is now full. Joy Park Community Center, which is at 825 Fuller Street, and then Mason Park Community Center, which is at 700 East Exchange Street. We have Red Cross on hand at Firestone Park, and we'll be on hand at all the centers. They have water and food, and will continue to respond as necessary. At this point, we will take your questions.
Mayor, what have you been able to determine as far as what types of chemicals could be in there? We initially heard propane, but there's also possibility of other chemicals.
Thank you, Bob. Reported from the company, we have methanol, propane, and xylene. Right now, our primary concern is the fire and explosion, which is why we've done the evacuation. Residents don't have to worry so much about the smoke right now unless they have underlying health conditions.
What do residents have to worry about?
Being safe, making sure they get to those reunification points like Mayor and Lieutenant Murphy mentioned, and staying away from where we've evacuated with a perimeter of about a half mile.
Why is that so important?
Because of the explosion and the fire. We want to make sure, like I said, there's structural integrity concerns at the building. We want to make sure no one close by is affected by that with danger or health and safety concerns.
How many explosions have there been, and do you expect the entire building to explode? The chief mentioned there was a fear of more explosions.
Well, there has been more noise coming from the building. Like I said, we evacuated the area. We can determine later the extent of any damage. Right now, we're just supporting the scene and making sure the residents are in a safe location.
I'm sorry, we're gonna have to call on folks individually after she's done with each answer. I just want to make sure that we're able to do this. Go ahead, please.
Like I said, our primary concern is to make sure residents are at a safe location, a safe distance away from the emergent fire.
We'll go from my left to right.
We're not able to determine that at this point. We will respond as necessary, so if there is a need for that, we will address that need.
Schools, daycares in the area? Could you guys help get kids out?
Sure. So there, I do not believe there are Akron Public Schools within the evacuation radius. There were students at David Hill, East Middle School and East High School, who some of whom were kept at David Hill, and who APS is in the process of reunifying them with their families.
Is that primarily a commercial district? How far are the residences from this location? And have there been any injuries or transports?
There are several residential neighborhoods near this. There is a high rise at 1010 Rosemary. There's the Rosemary Erickson apartments that are adjacent to the site as well. And there are, I believe, another series of apartments as well. Then there are a number of businesses along Arlington and some along Rosemary. So it is kind of a mixed situation when it comes to industrial and residential. We want to make sure everyone leaves from that evacuation zone. If folks have an issue, have mobility issues and need help, they can call 911 and assist. If they have issues with breathing or some of those underlying health concerns, they also can call if they have concerns about that.
If you were to estimate, how many people were evacuated from the building, and are there any injuries from people who were evacuated from the building, respiratory or not?
I don't have anything for you on the injuries, but in terms of, we don't have a total estimate of how many people are at the facilities. I believe there were at least 30 people at Firestone Park Community Center, but we don't have that total number right now. Metro Bus is also assisting in busing folks to the community centers, so we appreciate that support as well. Do you have anything you want to add on the transport?
We don't necessarily have a
Come.
number. We don't necessarily have a number for folks being injured. We have 3 med units standing by in case someone does step forward, but we don't necessarily have any transports at this time.
Does this lab have a history of explosions or chemical reactions in the past?
We don't have anything on that right now. Derek?
Has there been a cause of plague?
That we don't have anything on that right now. The underlying cause will be subject of future investigation. Bob?
2 questions. Is there any initial estimate on how long the evacuations could last? I know you said you weren't sure about overnight. And then for Sergi, methanol, propane, xylene, can you tell us anything more about those? The danger level, combustibility, that kind of stuff.
We do have our hazmat team on scene, and they will do the research on any kind of hazards, health hazards as well. But primarily, again, right now, we're focused on the flammability and explosive properties and making sure the rest of the neighborhood outside that perimeter is safe.
Do we have any confirmation? You mentioned Koki, but then online I'm also seeing SMB products. Do we have any confirmation which is the actual official company name?
No, at this point, we believe it's Koki Labs,
Okay.
but we will determine that going forward.
So county emergency management been notified, or are they involved?
Yes, County Emergency Management has been in close touch with our emergency management, and I believe there's a shared channel as well. Yes.
For first responders, in your time on the job, have you all ever experienced anything to this magnitude in terms of explosions, in terms of fire, in terms of smoke that we see coming out of this building?
As far as our history and what we're used to, we try to keep Akron safe at all costs. We make sure our folks are trained, and if they're prepared and do the proper training, we're prepared for any incident. So we hope not to see this, but we are prepared in the event that we see it.
Have you ever seen it before?
We have.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Derek?
Have Akron Fire or Akron Police called out to surrounding municipalities for mutual aid?
Go ahead.
At this time, we haven't utilized mutual aid. We do have a unified command structure in place between the Akron Police Department and Akron Fire Department. So we've, as District Chief Lash mentioned before, we've trained for incidents like this. We've trained jointly with the fire department, so we feel as though we're prepared to handle it.
I know you sort of went over this at the beginning, but can you explain sort of a timeline of the call coming in, and then at what point did the explosion happen, and then you're switching to more of a defensive tactic, I assume, and is that remaining the case right now? Is there anything more that can be done while this is going on?
Well, we've got exhaustive efforts and resources on the scene. Like I said, the call came in around 1:12. Our first arriving unit was about 1:14. We heard that first small explosion just before 3 p.m., which is when we began to evacuate the area. Until the fire and the scene is completely safe, we will make sure the scene and the perimeter also stays evacuated of residents, employees, and we'll continue to secure that scene.
This fire is taking place within Councilman Johnny Hanna's ward. I want to invite Councilman Hanna up if you'd like to make any comments.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On behalf of Ward 5 residents, we would like to thank the mayor, the fire department, and the police department for excellent evacuation. All the citizens in Ward 5 and in that particular area are very grateful that no one has been injured so far and no one has been taken to the hospital. Again, we want to thank the city for their expertise of getting those residents out of the area, and also thank Metro Regional Transit Authority for providing the buses to remove those residents from the area. Thank you.
Derek?
Is there, can you tell me at all what Kogi Laboratories does? Why are these chemicals in that warehouse? Do we know anything about their business?
At this point, we don't have anything for you on that right now.
I guess what's the most important message to get across to the residents affected in that area, because they're probably gonna have a lot of uncertainty. They're seeing the fire, hearing the popping noises, uncertain about what these chemicals are, what they could do, and what they're breathing.
We will continue to provide updates as necessary. The primary concern, as District Chief Lash mentioned, is getting folks out of that evacuation zone because of the concern about fire and potential explosion. There is not an air quality chemical concern at this point for folks outside of that evacuation zone. We are continually monitoring the situation, and if that changes and guidance needs to change, we will communicate that as soon as possible. But it is the message we want to send is that if folks are within that evacuation zone, hopefully folks are not within that evacuation zone at this point, but if they are, they need to get out, or they need to let us know so we can try to help get them out.
With a follow-up to that,
Sure.
is there an air quality chemical concern within the evacuation? Not
I don't-
outside, within, and is there testing actively going on? How do you know?
Semi-County Public Health is responding. I don't have any specific things to report on the air quality. District Chief, do you?
Correct.
Yep.
Just to confirm, Firestone's community center is currently full, but there's still room at Mason Park and Joy Park.
Yes, I think in order, we would like folks to go to Joy Park, and then if Joy Park is full, to Mason. But yes, that's Firestone Park, we believe, is full.
Folks on our live stream are asking if the evacuation area is going to expand at all.
To the extent that it would, we would immediately let folks know.
Thank
At
you.
this point, it is not. That's based on the command decision of fire and APD at the scene.
There's some dumb question. So is the fire still active right now?
It is, which is why we've got the scene secured. So the fire currently is still active, and until it is completely out, we'll make sure that scene stays secure and the residents and any visitors to that neighborhood stay safe.
Earlier today, you said you guys had a call for help coming from Kogi Lab around 1 p.m. with heavy smoke and heavy flames coming from the building. Who made that call? Was it an employee? Was it a resident? Was it a citizen?
That we are not certain. Well, I am not certain. I would have to check our notes, and then we can update you with that information.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you all. We will continue to provide updates as necessary. We appreciate you responding quickly. And again, just want to reiterate, our primary concern is making sure that we get folks out of that evacuation zone. Thank you very much. And especially thank you to Akron Fire Department, Akron Police Department, and City of Akron staff who have been responding and addressing this concern. Thank you.